Hi there. This video follows on from the video about sanitizing data for use in Microsoft Excel. What I have here is a spreadsheet like the one that I had in that video with 3 sheets here for different rooms which are blank and a room here with the temperature data on that's all been sanitized and made ready for, just remove that, sanitized and made ready for creating a dashboard in Excel. I've created another sheet here called dashboard. It's very easy to create a new sheet. You just click on this plus sign here and then you can rename the sheet. I'd call that test, for example, and that's how you could make one. So just make one, call it dashboard like I have. I'm going to delete that one. And your dashboard thing here would be blank. I am just playing here with a pivot table. But what I want to show you in this video is some important skills for making a professional level business intelligence dashboard. And the way we do that is to use Excel and Office's secret weapon, which is called VBA. And that is Visual Basic for Applications. It's a version of Visual Basic that is used in Microsoft Office. So what are we going to do with that? Well, first of all, before we do some fancy things with that, we need to get Excel into a place where it's ready to do this. So a couple of things that we need to do. First of all, we need to go here, and your Excel either at home or at college should be the same, and go to More Commands and go to Customize the ribbon. And here in main tabs you should tick one called developer. I've already done it. Okay, that is switching on a whole new world of programming commands and is also making something called macros, which are tiny little bits of VBA code to do certain jobs. It's making them runnable. So I click OK there, and you'll probably then get a warning like I have in this yellow bar here, and this is important. If you don't save the Excel spreadsheet in the correct file format, all of your code and hard work will be wasted because it will be stripped out. Now, the original format, so the modern Excel format, is .xlsx. But the format that you want to save in, as it says here, I don't know if you can read that, is to save in a macro enabled file type. So those little snippets of code that we're going to write, macros, need to be enabled. And you're saying, well, why aren't they just enabled anyway? It's simple. Macros can be dangerous. Macros can pose a security risk. So that's why we do this. So we need to do that. So I go to File, I go to Save As, and I can keep the name the same, but it's going to create a second file. So the original file will still be there, and that will just be a standard XLSX Excel workbook, but it won't have any programming features enabled. So here I go to Excel Macro Enabled Workbook, and that has a slightly different extension of XLSM. Excuse me. And I save it. The yellow bar should disappear, and I am now ready to explore the programming features of Visual Basic. You'll notice that since we changed the ribbon, we now have a tab here called Developer. So there's our Home tab, and we go across these familiar tabs here, and then a new one appears called Developer. Okay, a crucial button on here is this one here called Visual Basic, and that will take you to something that you may never have seen before, which is the Visual Basic editor. I can just afford to make this a bit bigger. You do the coding here in this window. Over here in the project is some very important information. Okay, You will not originally necessarily see this modules one, but you will see Microsoft Excel objects. Every sheet, worksheet that you've created in Excel appears here as an object. And what's interesting about that is that they actually have code attached to them, and code that you can manipulate if you need to. We probably don't. And there you can see my dashboard one that I just created. There's also code here for the whole Excel file, which of course is called a workbook. So we have worksheets in workbooks, and it's there, this workbook. That also has code. That's useful if you want something to open programmatically when you open Excel. And here you have modules, which is where your macros go, and you can also have user forms. You create these here, insert a user form or a module. Now with other students, I've been doing the user form a lot. Let's just test that out. And there is a form there, a bit like you would in C# or something, that I can drag objects onto, a label there, and a command button. That's very important. And you'll see down here in the properties box that these all have lots of different properties associated with them, and of course code. So just to show you for future reference, if I right click on the button, whoops, didn't quite get that, view code, there's a whole load of code that I can attach to that particular button. I'm going to remove this user form for the time being. Well, actually I'll just leave it be, but I'm not going to look at that at the moment because we probably won't need it. You can close this editor just to go back to the worksheet. My apologies, well, this is the worksheet and this is the whole workbook. And remember, we're now saved in the XLSM, which stands for macro enabled format. So what kind of fancy things can you do with Visual Basic for applications to help make a nice business intelligence app, which is the point of the large assignment that you're doing? Well, here we go. I make sure that I'm in design mode, and on this sheet here, I'll just make this a bit smaller because that was a large size for the other instructional video. Why don't we put on here a button that saves me flicking between these tabs here with the mouse, but why don't I put on here a button that will take me to the dashboard that I'm creating? That's just a nice simple feature. So I go to Insert, Form Controls. Don't bother with the ActiveX controls, just go for the form controls, drag it there. It's called button to click. I could call it go to dashboard. Okay, I click new, and that takes me to the code. There's one there that I just created earlier before I started this video, which is called Open Dashboard. Don't worry about that. And that's created this module here called Module 2. And what do I need to put in here to make this button work? Well, I need a bit of VBA code, and I can tell you that to open a sheet, you type the command sheets, you then put an argument in, whoops, dashboard, and then the actual function, select, like that. I'll save that. If I go back to this sheet here, if I click on that button, hey presto, I'm back on the dashboard. So that's a bit of limited functionality there. Click the button, go to the dashboard. There's other fancy things that are possible, but that was the main one that I wanted to show you. I put myself in design mode here, and we go to edit text just to put a better name on. And there we have it. Okay, I've obviously save my work again so that I don't lose that, and that's basically, we're at the 10-minute mark now in this video, so that's probably enough. That's basically a little introduction there to how to set up Excel so that it becomes a Visual Basic for Applications enabled spreadsheet in the XLSM format, and how to create a simple button, and also a little whistle stop tour there of the Visual Basic editor. So hope that's been useful to you. Thanks for watching.